Hi, I'm in Gros Isle, Manitoba at a 4R field day with Emily. I'm here with Rick Rutherford of Rutherford Farms. Earlier this morning, Rick, during the rain, we were inside and we were talking about tile drainage. Now, you kind of experimented with an area of your field. In 2013, you installed tile drainage. Can you tell me a little bit what that experience is like?
Yeah, we did install in 2013, and actually in Manitoba, especially the Red River Valley, it was quite new. There wasn't a lot of it around. The area in the field, well, the field I just got to back up a little bit. It's got great surface drainage, but because of the discharge area, the topography in the field, we could drain all the surface water of it. But the problem we were running into is we had an area in the field that the salt content kept increasing on us,
right,
and lowering productivity on it. So everybody was saying that tile drainage was the option, so we went through and managed to get it permitted through the Department of Agriculture, or through Water Resources, I guess, at the time, and we had it installed. At the time they were said, 2 or 3 years, you'll remunerate your problems, your productivity would come back. It was probably anywhere from 8 to 10 years till we got to the level that we were anticipating at the start. So, in a project like this, it's all about return on investment. We probably invested about $1,500 an acre at the time. So to go through that many years without any return on your investment, the whole project it's been interesting for us to see it. Could we remunerate it any other way? Probably not.
Yeah.
There is technology out there, low-tech technology as I call it, this mole plow that was talked about this morning, and it's just making a cavern basically in the same place that you would put the drain tile. So, there's no long-term infrastructure costs other than the tiling or the mole plow machine. So going forward, we don't own one yet, but we look at that as an option. Maybe because of the investment, the cost per acre, if we could take the $30,000 or $40,000 that a mole plow is worth and put it over a vast amount of acres, we think that it probably would have a better ROI than starting to put more drain tile in the ground today.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a pretty advanced farm. You guys try a lot of different things, and I'm sure soil testing is one of them. So in that particular area of the field, what has that meant for the improvement on your soil quality and then in turns the yield for whatever you've grown there?
See, I guess at the start, at that time when we decided we were doing this, we took and we, based on, I guess it was an EC map, but it lined up a lot to a topography map, we actually developed zones for the field.
Okay.
And the area that was drain tiled, the whole field was being fertilized at a flat rate level. Well, because this particular area of the field was probably somewhere between 20 and 30 acres, it wasn't producing. So the nutrient level had built up substantially in that. So at the start of it, after zoning it and finding out how much nutrients in it, we actually reduced the amount of nutrients going into that particular area dramatically. And over the next number of years, we pulled that back into a more respectable level. And as we started pulling back and got into that level where we were getting it down to an area where it should be, the drain tile was starting to show us some benefits. So then soil testing every year in that area, we started building the nutrient level back up until where we are today, where we're basically treating the good and the bad close to the same.
Okay.
So using 4R methodology, I guess you can say, we've moved from a place where we reduced it to almost nothing, but now we've built it back up now that we have the land more productive. So I guess that's the hook between tile drainage and 4R nutrition and why we were chatting about it today.
Perfect, yeah. And you answered the question before you even had a chance to ask it, so there we go. In your opinion then, working with tile drainage for the past 12 years or so, what do you think the pros and cons are? You mentioned one story where you had a freeze-up just going into winter, and unfortunately that tile drain had froze solid, so it wasn't able to work during the spring runoff. So things like that, what else have you noticed, I guess?
And I guess it comes back to our soil structure, why we've seen certain things. Reality is, and because of the low ability for water to enter the drain tile, that's effectively lengthen the time it takes to get the total benefit that we needed out of it.
Right.
And hence why it did freeze up one year, because the water was coming in so slowly into the tile that it was freezing as it was entering, so it was just like flooding a skating rink.
Right.
We basically kept on adding layers to our drain tile, and we didn't even realize it was doing it, but it froze everything up.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and then you lose your spring benefit of it because it took to mid-June for these tiles to start running again.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because it was still moist in the spring, and the area of the field was wet. It was still seedable, but we could tell as soon as the drain tile thawed out and let out, there was water to be removed. So
right.
the benefit was there, and I guess through the first 7 or 8 years that we had a tile in, we were in a wet cycle, so we did pump a lot of water out of it, and that actually helped expedite it. We take a year this year, we've had very little rain all year. We haven't even pumped our drain tile this year. We pumped it once just a week ago, but we were living on the water that was in it. We didn't want to take any of it out. We wanted to leave it there until we had need to remove some. So
yeah. So on balance, what are your thoughts on tile management? Would you look at installing more in certain areas of your field where it's necessary?
As I say, I come back to this mole plow, the couple of areas in different fields that we think that we could benefit from it. I think we're more likely to go and try the mole plow in it first, and try that to see if we can get results from it, because it's really not a lot of investment. If we look at, and it's our belief in the type of land we have here, because we have good surface drainage, that we would never be tiling whole fields, or we don't see the benefit of tiling whole fields. So it would be another portion of a field. So, again, that one coming forward, it's close to a hydro, so we wouldn't have the problems we had today of not having access to a pump out. But then it's interesting, because when you start putting it in and putting a pump out into it, the neighbors get all up in arms that you're actually taking water out of it or putting water in a drainage system they could be using. And a lot of times it's not true, but it's you got to deal with public sentiment in some of these issues as well.
It's a very visible thing going on, I guess, so people don't quite understand what's going on. Great. Well, thanks for having us out to your farm today, Rick. Pleasure meeting you again.
Yeah, it's great taking time speaking to you. Thank you.